understand that I'm gonna make mistakes as everybody else does, and I'm gonna live to a certain extent of normalcy. And I learned how to sort of, you know, embrace my mistakes, laugh about them, and keep it moving.
So Solange just blasted Alan to the highest heavens for abandoning her while she was battling her autoimmune illnesses and needed his support the most. Now, when Solange announced that she was getting a divorce from her husband Alan, it shocked everyone, and he was already laying up with the next boo before the ink on those divorce documents even dried up. And she's kept quiet about what really led to the divorce and why she had to slow down her music career and skip out on significant events. But inside reporters and Solange herself have confirmed that the reason she filed for divorce and was so quick to move on was because of how toxic her marriage had gotten. And unlike Beyonce, Solange ain't gonna ever stay in a situation that no longer serves her. There have been a few rumors here and there about Solange being crazy and unable to keep a man for the longest time. Some say that she's a carefree woman who lives her life with no apologies. Others believe that Solange is just plain crazy, someone with a lot of attitude, nasty anger issues, and an even nastier daddy issue, because who can really tell what goes on behind closed doors for the Knowles family? And remember that whooping that she gave Jay-Z when she found out that he was cheating on her sister? I mean, she almost made a grown man cry, and if Solange was that protective over her sister's marriage, you best believe that any man who chooses to get with her better come correct. And that's what made her divorce from Alan so surprising. Solange always looked very happy with him, and it was obvious that they were very into each other. Whenever you saw Alan, Solange wasn't too far behind, and they went everywhere together. I'm talking red carpets, music shows, holidays. They even collaborated multiple times on Solange's projects. Alan even called her the love of his life and the best thing that ever happened to him when he was receiving the Video Director of the Year award alongside Beyonce. Now, Solange was 22 when she met Alan, who was 45 at the time that they got together, and she spent time trying to get Alan to be her man. She even admitted that if she didn't chase after him the way she did, they may not have ever gotten together.
I've been in a relationship now for 5 years. But certainly in the beginning, I was the one who approached him. And so I have always sort of historically been one of those girls that goes after something that I'm into. I'm not very old school in the I'm going to wait for you to approach me.
When Alan's father died, Solange and her son Jules moved to be closer with him and his family in Virginia. Solange did all of that for her marriage to only last 6 years. When the news came out, no one was checking for Solange or backing her up. There were rumors that she had cheated on Alan with a guy named John Bogart. And Solange never really bothered to address the rumors. She just went on living her life while remaining discreet with details about her dating life. She's been very quiet, low-key, and wasn't out and about the way she used to be before her divorce from Alan. But then Solange did something no one was expecting. She opened up about another side of her life and shared under the comments section of a post made by Sean Ross, the model/musician, that she has been dealing with not one, not two, but multiple private and invisible illnesses that she's been secretly battling for years now. She said, quote, "Sending you so much love and strength, Sean. To all in the comments struggling with debilitating, confusing, and lonely symptoms of POTS, I got diagnosed with POTS, Sjogren's, and mast cell activation syndrome in 2018 and really relate to not wanting your health to be your identity. I feel really grateful for the Spoonie community for holding me down during my times of complete uncertainty. Sending an abundance of love your way." End quote. Now it makes so much sense why we haven't seen her popping out to do any shows or other music events, because she talked a lot about how she had to ration her energy throughout the day. But now that Solange has sort of laid out what her life has been battling these invisible diseases, folks have been putting 1 and 2 together. Like when she was nowhere to be seen when Beyonce was celebrating her Grammy wins last year, and she and Alan got their divorce right when she was trying to figure out what her life was going to look like battling those illnesses. And her illnesses put a massive strain on not just her music, but her marriage too. In another post, Solange said, quote, "When I first started creating When I Get Home, I was quite literally fighting for my life and in and out of hospitals with depleting health and and broken spirits, asking God to send me a sign I would not only survive, but that if he let me make it out alive, I would step into the light, whatever that meant. End quote. And then she finally came for all of those cheating rumors and revealed that she never stepped out on her husband, not even once in their marriage. While she was battling her health issues, Alan was still reeling from the loss of his dad, and there was just so much going on in their relationship. Insiders reported that Alan was just too wrapped up with everything going on his side of the family that he wasn't there to follow Solange for all of those hospital appointments. And even when he was home, he still wasn't available to her because Alan is a big shot producer and had to travel multiple times a year to do his job. Even though he knew exactly what she was going through, insiders claim that Solange just wasn't a priority for Alan during that time. He was battling his own issues and he had a lot of stuff that he needed to take care of. She just wasn't one of them. And yeah, that's gonna ruin almost any relationship. And Solange definitely felt some kind of way that her illnesses made her realize that she didn't have time to be in a marriage with a man that treated her that way. Quote, "My body left me with no choice but to listen and be still. Within that stillness, I began my journey in confronting my worst enemy and fear. I've lived my best and worst moments in front of the lens and gaze of the world since I was a teenager, and I've always tried to live in my truth no matter how ugly or full of love it is. I've always tried to carve out space to protect my heart and my life as it unfolds, evolves, and changes." End quote. Now, people don't blame Solange anymore for feeling some type of way about her marriage and choosing to leave it. Quote, "Solange was a young parent and has never really been alone, but her illness made her reflect on her life and realize she need to be her own person first, and everything you really need is inside you." End quote. And another, quote, "Sometimes the wrong man will make you sick." End quote. And another, quote, "As sisters, this is why we have to be kind and loving to one another, because we never know what a person is going through. Wishing Solange the best." End quote. But what I really want to know is what you think. Do you think Solange is still too hasty to call her marriage quits? And did you even know anything about the illnesses she was battling? Let's talk in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.